Ring the bell.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Slam Society, and welcome to my review show here of MLW Fury Road from May 18th, 2024, from the Cicero Stadium in Illinois. So 1 week ago, I did a review of MLW. Again, as I've said heaps of times so far, plenty of times, one of my favorite wrestling companies going right now is MLW. Actually, yes, 6 days ago, I put out the review of Azteca Lucha, and it only has 31 views. Hopefully more will check this one out. I know, once again, I'm a couple days late, but life gets in the way sometimes. Let's crack on with the show, hey? Opening match, singles match, Jake Crist taking on Brett Ryan Gosselin. Lots of answers for this show. Needing to find out what happened to Selena De La Renta last week, but we still don't know by the end of the show. That's okay. All right, they take their time. They don't blow their load on a storyline. They take their time. I think Brett Ryan Gosselin, or BRG, is over with me. This guy, he knows how to work the crowd and get heat. Well done. Very good for, somebody at that point in their career to have figured out, at least on that level anyway, in a building like the Cicero Stadium. Brett Ryan Gosselin, appears to be one of the remaining members of the World Titan Federation after, we've had Richard Holiday, David Boy Smith Jr., someone else, Tom Lawler, that's it. They've been taken out. No word on what's going on with AJ Francis as it pertains to the World Titan Federation. I know he's kind of a part of the group loosely. I know Zeta is still in the group. But one thing I was a bit disappointed by on this show was the lack of, once again, Saint Laurent not addressing the fact that Contra's taken out 3 of his homeboys. Oh, yeah, they got Bishop there too. Josh Bishop. But, I just thought it would have been addressed a bit more on this show, considering Saint Laurent was out there a few times. Anywho, let's get back to the match, eh? Chris fed off the crowd and fought back before Brett went to the eyes. Chris ended up hitting a surprise backslide pin for the win, and then immediately BRG attacked him afterward, which I really enjoyed. That's what somebody like that would do if they got a surprise victory taken from them. They would immediately just cowardly just sock them from behind. So I'm guessing Chris and Brett Ryan Gosselin will be working with one another moving forward. Speaking of move forward, let's move forward. We see highlights of Azteca Lucha from last week. Then we get a singles match. Bobby Fish makes his return to MLW here, taking on Akira, who, as we know, just finished off his feud with The Calling and Ricky Shane Page. Bobby Fish still hasn't found his footing, really, since leaving AEW, I would say. I know he's been fighting. I know he's been doing like some kickboxing, some MMA, whatever. But he hasn't really found himself at home since leaving AEW. But maybe that's by design. Maybe Bobby doesn't want to be held down or under contract to somebody. I know he was in TNA for like a cup of coffee and didn't really do anything there. But you know what, Bobby? I am digging the shaved head, bro. I am digging the shaved head. Akira, I really thought was going to beat Ricky Shane Page for the national openweight title, but they ended up going with Bad Dude Tito. That's fine. It's just, geez, he chased him for quite some time there, only to not get that. But back and forth they went in this one. I thought Akira was definitely going to win. I liked Bobby Fish's work technically here. I liked the way that he picked the ankle of Akira. Fish really brought it. He's a great wrestler, but he's just, the personality is just, it's a bit bland. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's it. That's just one part of his presentation. I think he's always going to struggle with is the personality and being somebody that's interesting. You know, he might work as a henchman type guy who's, maybe a part of a tag team, but I don't see him really, I don't know, moving higher up the card in any company. He'll kind of always just be that good hand, I suppose you could say. That's just my opinion. Um, Akira hit a suplex, then a roundhouse kick. The roundhouse kick was very impressive. Um, he then hit the dental penalty. I was going to say the dental. I was trying to say death penalty at the same time. He hits the death penalty and gets a big win here over Bobby Fish. He goes for a handshake and Bobby flips him off. Deary me. Go Fish. Oh my God. I realize at this point in time that the show is only 90 minutes long. Thank you, Major League Wrestling, bro. Amazing. I'm sick of long shows. Okay, David Marquez is in MLW. Did not know that. He interviews Matt Riddle backstage, who's picking his number for the Battle Riot, and again talks about the world title. I think he's clearly being set up to win it. Unlike TNA and how they kind of rush former WWE stars to being world champion, usually they do that. It happened with Naomi. Thankfully, they've learned their lesson a little bit now. Nick Nemeth has not been TNA world champion yet. But, it's pretty obvious to me that Riddle's going to become the world champion there in MLW at some point, which, it makes sense. He's probably the biggest name that they have on the roster. I just wish they would have more people who are in the battle riot come into that room, talk to David. Just need 10 seconds there, 15 seconds there, 20 seconds there. The show was only an hour and a half long. You could have done like this for like 5 or 6 guys, contenders. Make it seem like someone else other than Riddle might win this. Have Sammy Callahan go in there and grab a number. Have Alex Kane, former world champion, go in there and grab a number. AJ Francis go in there and grab a number. Who else? Maybe not Kruger. You can't have him doing civilized things, but maybe he sends someone. Maybe he sends someone to do it for him. I don't know. Anyway, say the Ron could be in there. He could be picking out numbers for his whole crew. Anyway, let's move forward. Say the Ron. Say Laurent. It's finally on commentary. I want his thoughts what happened to World Titan Federation and his thoughts on it. And I don't know if I wasn't paying attention. I feel like I didn't get those answers. Anyway, let's move forward. Alex Kane with Mr. Thomas takes on A Game, who I've never heard of before, but he's apparently a former member of the Alex Kane version of the Bumaye Fight Club, which was obviously led by Mr. Kane and Mr. Thomas. And he's the one challenging Alex here, thanks to AJ Francis sending him. He sent him. What I like about this feud with Alex and AJ is that the MLW there are taking their time with it. They've built it. They've built it. They've built it for some months now. We're getting to Battle Riot. They're going to do battle there, which we'll get to in a second. But I like that they've taken their time with this thing. It's given us a chance to see a different side of Alex Kane as he struggled since losing the World Championship. Now he's lost the Bumaye Fight Club. All he's got left is Mr. Thomas. And he really needs to get that win back over AJ Francis in order to start to move forward with his career, as he's kind of been in a state of flux since AJ Francis came in and targeted him. You know what? Something tells me that Mr. Thomas is going to turn on Alex at some point as well. I hope they don't do that, but I don't know. I've got a feeling. Sorry, I'm very thirsty. Alex just wrecked this guy called A Game and choked him out. MSL then got in Mr. Thomas's face, which is why? Like, why would he do that? Then he tried to bribe him. Then the cash went flying into the air. And MSL, Mr. Saint Laurent, his acting is absolutely terrible, but it makes it. It makes it so much better that he's so terrible at acting. I love it. He ended up escaping from them after Mr. Oops, I wrote Mr. Thomas again. AJ Francis. I don't even need to fix that because I'm not writing for the website anymore. As AJ Francis appeared on the screen and challenged Kane to a match at Battle Riot 4 for control of Monet Fight Club. Steaks, bro. I needed some steaks. Not the delicious ones you put on a barbecue. Steaks, dude. Not the ones that you stick through the heart of Dracula. Steaks, bro. Mads Krieger cuts a promo on Matthew Justice. Let's move forward. Falls Count Anywhere match. Matthew Justice takes on Mads Krieger. I think this was the best match on the show. Let me have a look. Yes, I think this was the best match on the show. You know what? One thing I want to mention, though, I don't like that Court Bauer returned to television at the last show last week and has not addressed the attack by Krieger on him and confronted him about it. I'm pretty sure that's who I saw talking to Cesar Duran. If I'm wrong, please let me know. But why wouldn't he address the attack and confronted, Krieger about it? I don't know. I have a feeling that some of these people aren't at this show in Cicero. At the Cicero Stadium, sorry. Krieger's henchman held Justice early on in the matchup here. Krieger did a massive dive to the outside onto Justice, and it just made me think that was so ECW. That's like something that Mike Awesome would do. I was very impressed. I'm very impressed with Krieger. Justice with a suicide dive onto Krieger, who had a door in his hand, and Justice broke the door over his fucking head. Great spot with Krieger punching through a piece of door being swung at him, and Justice sold the punch from it like he was getting knocked the F out, bro. Krieger ends up going through a door in the corner. That was probably one of the speckiest looking spots for the highlight reel. But then speaking of a visual that's certainly going to be one that I remember for some time, when Matthew Justice stuck those gusset plates onto the chest and head of Krieger. I thought the visual was fantastic when he pulled the gusset plate off his head and the blood started pouring and pissing out. Shit. They brawled after this into the stands. I thought Krieger was going to win this soon after, because when he kind of snapped when he had those gusset plates put onto him, on his chest and on his head, and he chokeslammed Matthew Justice. I thought that was going to be the finish. I'm glad that they didn't, though, because they then brawled into the stands, and I was like, okay, this is definitely going to end in a sick bump here. And then Krieger just threw Justice off the platform. He did a flip bump off this platform quite high up, and went through some tables on the floor. And he was done at that point. It was mathematical. Krieger wins. I know that they did this because they wanted to do the angle with Janai Kai joining Contra. But I do not agree with Justice fighting straight after the match and being able to put Krieger through a table. And then they continue to brawl. I think if I were once again in the room, okay, and I think that I would actually be able to help, because there have been times where things have been decided upon and put through onto the show, okay, with the MLW. I remember when they had the Chamber of Horrors match, I knew that there was something in that match that I could have told them, don't do that, or make sure that this happens this way. And there have been a few spots at different matches where I've been like, don't balance doors on top of frames of chairs. Okay. This has happened a few times. If I was in the room, I would say just have Kruger pin him, maybe have the Contra guys, his henchmen, just pick up Justice and try to take him backstage like they have been doing to Brian Brock and guys like that. I think they did that to him. I can't remember. Jacob Fatu, whatever. Anyway, then you could have cut to some footage of whatever Battle Riot hype package. You come back and cameras have caught Contra still trying to carry Matthew Justice out the building. Now you've given enough time for him to have recovered to be able to start fighting back, which would then lead to Janai Kai hitting that solid kick to the side of the head or whatever, to the face, and thus showing that she's become a member of Contra. By doing it that way, I'm sorry, it's like fucking 11:24 p.m. and I'm tired and I'm starting to slur my words a bit. I haven't even had anything to drink. I'll get through this. Okay, but by having him get carried backstage and then throwing to a package or something like that, you've now given him time to sell, because he's just been thrown off a platform through tables. He shouldn't be walking straight away. He should be a little bit dazed, a little bit out of it, but maybe when the cobwebs clear after that several minute package, then it makes sense for him to be able to start fighting with Contra again, which then, yes, once again leads to Janai Kai debuting for the group. Thank you. I'm actually right about that too, so I don't care if anyone says, no, we prefer, no, I was right. MLW World Women's Featherweight Championship on the line here in the next matchup. Four-way, first pinfall to a finish. Janai Kai defending against Miyu Yamashita versus Delmi Exo, former featherweight champion herself, and my favorite MLW performer, Zayda. I thought MSL should have been out there with Zayda. She's the Federette. We need to keep that happening every single time. He came out to do what you mean to tell me he came out to do guest commentary for a games match, which lasted a ball hair's length of time, but he didn't come out with Zayda. Why didn't Zayda go out with Brett Ryan Gosselin? I know she had a match on the show, but she's been seen to go out with him to the ring prior, so I don't understand that. Were different matches filmed on different days? I don't know how it works. Anyway, I just like the continuity of having people who manage people be out there with them. Like, I'm guessing Caesar and Selena were not in Cicero, Illinois, because they were the Azteca Lucha show. You didn't, whatever. Zayda is really hot, and I can't help it, bro. Okay, I can't help it. She is hot, dude. I was hoping she was going to win the belt here. Janai Kai, I love her presentation. I think she's done a great job of making herself look like she could potentially be from another planet. If someone said to me, bro, did you know that Janai Kai is actually from a different planet? She's actually, from a different galaxy. I'm like, yeah, oh, yeah, immediately. Oh, yeah, no, I could totally see that. I wouldn't even be like surprised or, nothing in me will be like, what? There's actual life forms from other planets? Like, I already know. Janai Kai's from a different galaxy, bro. Okay. Anyway, so this is, I think I've seen Miyu Yamashita before. Obviously seen Delmo Exo a few times. They'll start to go somewhere with this Delmi Exo angle, and she was with Caesar and something going on with her and Selena. I think this is what kind of hurts MLW a little bit, is that they only put it on 2 shows a month kind of thing. So, if they had, some MLW Fusion episodes going out, then they could continue the little stories like that. But Look, it is what it is. I have to find ways to nitpick, okay? Because I'm really enjoying MLW and I have to find ways to give criticism, okay? Not everything is perfect. Um, so anyway, Zeta tried to team with Janai Kai at one stage after, the early goings of the match, the ladies were all teaming up on Janai Kai. Um, and I just love how much of a goofball Zeta is in trying to get this very serious character to side with her, even though she knows Zeta's just doing it just to try and find a way to win the title over and off her. Domi and Miyu really went at it like a stalemate after this. Zeta, they nearly hit I'm Prettier on Delmi. And then Delmi reversed it into an attempted package pile driver, which Miyu stopped. Uh Janai locked in a double choke on Zeta and Miyu. I've forgotten the name of the move. Death choke or so, I don't know. The death choke. It can't be called the death choke. Anyway. So she locked both on both women at the same time. Zeta wanted to tap, but you could see Miyu's hand reach across and hold her hand from tapping out. Then eventually, Zeta whacks Miyu's hand away from hers, and she manages to tap out, and Janai Kai continues her title reign. At some point, though, Zeta will win that championship. Mark my words. When this Contra thing is over and we get back to the World Titan Federation trying to take over, Mr. Saint Laurent was on the phone and talked about stealing the belts. I don't even remember them doing that. Stealing the belt from Kojima. I don't know. There's sometimes I miss things, okay? He started eating from a sub, like a Subway sub, like a foot long. He went to take one bite out of it whilst he's on the phone, and half of the sub just fell onto the floor, and he had just a piece of ham sticking out of his mouth, right? I was thinking to myself, what the was that a screw up? Did he actually accidentally drop half the sub? Was that an actual screw up, or was that supposed to be a part of it? Because that was the hokiest, stupidest shit. But you know what? It was funny, okay? Kojima showed up and shoved him over with the weakest push, the weakest shove I've ever seen, and MSL just goes down like an absolute sack of shit. He grabbed the belt off MSL, and then Manders walked up and shook Kojima's hand and introduced himself, blah, blah, blah. Well, I mean, he didn't introduce himself. He already knows who he is, right? They've had a match against one another. I don't know. Whatever. I'm tired, man. Sammy Callahan has a promo here. He talks about Matt Riddle. Okay, let's move forward. Okay. I am so tired. I actually feel like I'm baked, but I don't do that stuff. Um, but I do remember the feeling, and this is the feeling right now. This is oh man, I'm so tired. Okay, Sammy Callahan takes on Riddle here. Sammy tried to attack Riddle before the match began. Uh, Callahan in the paper cut spot. I don't like that spot. That's just me. There's a few things that he does that I hate watching. Okay, I'm a fan of Sammy Callahan. I think he's fantastic. But the paper cut in the webbing of the fingers and the toes, no, no, no. That makes me sick, bro. It's like I've never, you know what else? Like there's things in life that I just refuse to let myself ever see, and I have not seen. Okay, and I'm proud that I've never seen these things. I've never seen Two Girls, One Cup. Never. I'm so glad that I've never seen it. I don't want to know what that looks like. That sounds horrible. Um, And what was the other thing? This is the whole point of me bringing this up. Oh yeah, an American History X starring Ed Norton. Um, the whole thing where he makes the guy bite the curb. Never seen it. Anything to do with the teeth? Can't do it. Can't do it. Don't like anything to do with like webbing of fingers and toes either. That's just messed up, bro. Anyway, let's get back to the match here. Uh, Sammy got clocked with a high knee, high knee as they started the match up and the bell rang. Riddle got pile drive on the outside. I like the back and forth between these two here. It was very physical. Got to give props to Sammy Callahan and his facial expressions. He gets the shot, bro. And you should know what I mean when I say gets the shot. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory about getting the shot. Um, Again, though, Sammy Callahan with your fucking spitting and I know it's one of your things, dude, but come on, it's gross. Sammy hocks this massive loogie and just slags all over his own face. And it's just hanging from his face. Dude, come on. Dude, come on. Stop it with that gross shit. Riddle had his comeback. He went for the RKO, but Sammy brilliantly pulled the referee in the way, and the referee copped a sick RKO from Riddle. Hey, props to the ref. Good job, mate. New referee comes charging in after pile driver, cactus driver from Sammy. And 2 count though. 2 count. Nice suspense, boys. I dig it. Then Riddle locked in a triangle choke on Sammy Callahan over the ropes, and Sammy got out of it by biting Riddle's toes. Really, really good stuff. I thought to myself, I'd have Sammy go over here via, underhanded tactics and then reconvene with them later. Say Sammy Callahan beats Riddle here. All right. You go to Battle Riot. I think it was pretty obvious Riddle's probably winning that bloody thing. Right. Then we finally get Riddle versus Kojima. I'm sure by that point, Riddle will be beating Kojima for the belt. Now we have Callahan with a legitimate reason to want to go for a part 2, a second chapter in a a feud that could go on for a year or whatever between him and Riddle. Just thinking out loud. Anyway. But unfortunately they ended a double count out. And I'm like, fuck me. Bad Dude Tito was then seen invading Cesar Duran's house, beating up Azteca henchmen. I think they could have done this a little bit better again as well. Because you know what? He wants to know the answers. He wants to know where Selena de la Renta is. That's his friend, his manager. I understand that you have to get the title belts on the screen, but if he's charging into a very dangerous situation, a situation where he's going to be breaking and entering into a house, and he will be knowing that there's going to be all these henchmen there. Why would he be carrying his fucking shoulder? Let me try and say that again. Why would he be carrying his fucking title belt over his shoulder for? Just and kicking him in the chest and stuff, but fighting with one hand. Why would he bring the title belt in with him to the house? No, nobody in real life, no one would ever do that if they're about to walk into a house and have a physical confrontation with people. They are certainly not going to be making sure that they've got their little title belt over their shoulder. That is the most NXT fucking thing I've ever seen in MLW. Don't do that shit. You're supposed to be like the new ECW for me. Okay. Anyway, he barges into Cesar Duran's office. Cesar pulls out a knife. For Christ's sake. Main event time. MLW World Heavyweight Championship on the line here. Satoshi Kojima with Okumura taking on one called Manders. We knew this was a foregone conclusion. I've got nothing really to add. Okay. It was a solid back and forth match. I think they worked well together. I'd like to see them wrestle one another again. Good stuff. But foregone conclusion, not much to really add. What do you want to do? Just tell you the things that happened? I like the finish. There's a few decent near falls with the Koji cutter and all that. They had a good match. Manders hit a lariat on Kojima. Kojima kicked out. I think that was a reversal from ducking a Kojima lariat. Kojima then hit one and then hit another Kojima lariat, and it was over. He retained the belt. One thing, one criticism of the match, okay? I'm sorry, man, okay? I know that people out there fucking hate when people talk about this kind of thing, but bro, can we stop with the machine gun chops? It's just like, dude, this is not these little fucking chops aren't debilitating you to a point where you can't get out of the corner. It's just like, come on, man. It doesn't look like it hurts at all. Can't you just like lay like some hard chops in one after another, after another, after another? Do you have to do the tapping? Enough. I know Kojima's done it for years, right? I know he's done that shit for years, and that's fine, but God, Kingston, when he does it, it looks shit. Sorry, when Manders did it, it looks shit. It just looks shit. Anyway, after the match, Contra's music played and they attack. Yo, where's my feed being interrupted? Where's the feed being? Come on, man. MLW. Come on. You've got to keep things uniform. Things have to happen the same way every single time. I would like to see the feed get interrupted with a bit of the static that you've been doing. They take over the feed. They're attacking people backstage. I'm really enjoying the story. It's interesting to me because they're going after everyone. But my problem that I'm having with it is no one is addressing it. No one's talking about it enough. If they were trying to sweep it under the rug kayfabe wise, then why is Kruger allowed to wrestle on the show? Why is he booked? I don't know, man. Like, it's just, I don't mean to nitpick, but I just think, come on, guys. It's not hard. It's not hard to just, look, the effort that they're putting into the creative is very good, but it's just some little things that can be improved on, which would make my experience as the reviewer a little better. Okay. I'm going to give this show a 7.5 out of 10. I love MLW, man. It's like my second favorite company right now. NXT is number one, can't be touched. It's too entertaining. It's like Crash TV, but MLW is like my new ECW. And when I say new ECW, I don't mean the WWE new ECW. I'm talking about like a 2024 what ECW could have been, right? There's just a few little things that need to be fixed here and there, but light years ahead of TNA as far as I'm concerned with the storylines. Light years ahead of AEW. More exciting than WWE. It's just that I happen to like NXT the most. Anyway, there we have it. Look, I was going to try and respond to some tweets like I did last week, but again, I really couldn't find anything that was worth responding to. Yes, there were some positive comments out there about the show, but the whole point of responding to some tweets is, well, it's because someone said something stupid or it's something, an interesting viewpoint that I could actually, take something from and be able to elaborate on or talk about. Anyway, look, I want to sail off into the sunset and go to bed. Thank you for joining me here on the Slam Society. Please like this video, subscribe, hit the bell so you get more notifications of all of our videos as soon as our videos drop. Karlifornia Slam Society. And I'll see you all down the Fury Road. That's shit.